the first game breaks, we'll get you no let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. Ball, obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tap, this win it. First year game, we're for the first May. Can everybody keep it every 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
Yeah, you know, again, I think we should really have the best defensive line in the country. You know, I feel really good about our depth that we're building. I feel really strongly about, you know, their attitude and the determination that those guys have played with. You know, and again, I'm not even talking as much about football, just great guys. You know, they're great human beings, and, you know, they've really worked hard. And, you know, as coaches, we want to see guys develop and reach their full potential.
It's day one, like I said, like I just told D-Rock. Hey, it's intensity from day one, from start to finish. Whistle to whistle blows to whistle in. All day, every day. I need everything you got. Everything out of you. All 15 days. Every practice. It starts right now. It's your time. It's your choice to be great. Let's pick that.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Tennessee on 2-1-2. Tennessee.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS, and my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. It is 3 weeks, boys. I try to believe, man, 21 freaking days, 3 weeks from today. We're going to kick things off against Syracuse. I was laughing yesterday. You got their linebacker out there. Put a little bulletin board material out there. Tell us he's going to show us how they get down. I can't wait to see how Syracuse gets down because they're going to F around and find out. Foul, it's way too early. What am I doing? Let's get back on track. 7 practices in the books, 1 scrimmage in the books. Sounds like the defense won the day, which is kind of par for the course. Been that way every season that Josh Heupel's been at Tennessee. Offense did have some success running the football. A lot of guys banged up. Here's the list. Kaner put out a list of guys that didn't go today. Jermod McCoy, Ricky Gibson, William Wright, Ty Redmond, Josh Josephs, Christian Gass, Chris Brazel, Braylon Staley, Miles Kitzelman, Jack Van Dorselaer, Brian Grant, Jeremiah T-Lander. So a lot of guys beat up, banged up. Coach, how much can you learn about your team in scrimmage number 1 when you got that many guys out? Is it an opportunity for some other guys to kind of make a spot for themselves?
Plenty of opportunity, man. You can learn a heck of a lot about your football team. You can learn all about the guys that can step up in a pinch and contribute something to this team. And specifically, as we talked about at that wide receiver, we had to talk about this, 3-4 days ago now, that these young wide receivers are going to have to grow up in a hurry. I know that these coaches are sending them that message early, and look at it right away, instantly, scrimmage 1. They're getting their first look, and I like it. I think it's great that it's happening in this scrimmage and not in Syracuse and not in Georgia, right? Not in a tough spot. They need to start getting these looks early and often to be able to affect the field come September.
We're going to kind of go backwards. We're going to talk about some things that I talked about in my video yesterday. Then we're going to get into the scrimmage. But Foul Ming, just a couple of quick hitters, early thoughts on scrimmage number 1.
Yeah, just with that many guys out, it's hard to judge as a whole. Maybe not look at it as a team, right? Maybe not look at incompletions as much as the process, the fundamentals, the footwork. Like I think, especially practice 1. Well, scrimmage 1, you look at it as a practice, but scrimmage 1, it's really going to be like, did they look the right? Did the quarterback look the right reads? Was the lineman making the right steps? Did they pick out the right block? Like less execution or less overall execution as a unit, but more just individuals who stepped up, who's in the right place, who's making the right reads, and that's the kind of stuff I would look at with this many people missing.
Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to listen to what Josh Heupel had to say in his press conference after the scrimmage. I'm sure it was a banger. I'm sure he told us who QB1 was going to be, but we're circling the internet, man. I've been on Go Balls 247. I've been on VolQuest. I've been on Rocky Top Insider. I even went to Tony Basilio to see what I could find out about this scrimmage. Anybody that's got an inside connection, there was a VolQuest poster that has some inside sources. He's a guy that's kind of been reliable. We're going to talk about what he put out there. But first, man, come on into the chat, smash the thumbs up, share out the link. I know it's a Sunday at noon. People got a lot of stuff going on, but maybe some people will come back and watch the rewatch. So make sure you retweet this thing, share this thing, blast it out, and smash that thumbs up. Tyler Harrison dropped a $5 super chat. Says, Dorothy, let's go Vols. Can't wait for the season to start. It's taking too long, but thank you, Boogie, for all the videos and all you do. No, thank you, Tyler. We appreciate you. Brian Turner for 5 says, Dorothy. GBO, shout out Brian. We appreciate you. If you're in the chat going, what's a door fee? It's a way of saying, hey, thanks, guys. You guys put out videos, live streams, content. I enjoy it. Here's a little tip in the tip jar to get the show started. We appreciate it. Luke Thompson for 2 also says door fee. Shout out Luke. Todd Landers is here for 2. Door fee, 21 days, my Vol brethren. Go Big Orange. Little Spooky's been a member for 33 months, and then also Austin Farley becomes a member of the channel. If you're not a member, you can hit the join button. It's $1. $1 a month, and you're going to get access. The first one's coming up on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's a fan call-in show, but it's also members only. You got to be a member not only to participate, but to be able to watch the show. So hit that join button for just $1. We would greatly appreciate it. I like what somebody in the chat said. It was on an EA Sports College Football stream, and they said, man, I kind of like that. It's the family. It's the diehards. It's the passionate, psychotic, Talkin VAWLS family that's going to be a part of that show on Sunday. So come join us for that. And shout out Austin. Nicholas for 5 says, y'all are my boys. Proud to be a part of this family. Thank you, Nicholas. We appreciate it. Adrian Wells has been a member for 28 months. We appreciate you, Adrian. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk. I want to talk about this because this kind of came out yesterday. Out of nowhere. Did not expect this. AP puts it out on Twitter. Just in, Jamal McCoy is back doing individual drills, which is the next step in the process for him getting healthy. And Foul Me, when you saw this floating around the internet, what are your thoughts? Because I think Jamal McCoy's moving around pretty good.
Yeah, he looks smooth, looks quick, looks the part, right? I think it's just another part of the process. It's just, I think they've got it all scheduled out. They know exactly what they're looking for. He's on pace to return. I don't know what the return goal is. I don't know if they want him for week 1 necessarily at Syracuse, or if you're looking more eyeing like maybe Georgia, or maybe even get a couple reps in ETSU just to kind of get him back into game shape. But I think it's just a part of the process, starting to get some lateral movement. But I mean, if you watch these videos, he looks the part to me. He's confident. Coaching staff's confident. So I think he's right on schedule to be back when we need him.
Yeah, I was pumped about it. I think all Vol Nation was pumped about it to a degree, right? Because that injury, man, it can just kill you, man. It wouldn't have surprised me if he would have came back in January, but I think a couple weeks back, like a film came out of him walking around or doing something. I can't recall what it was, but when I saw it, I had a lot of hope because he looked just really, really good with the way he was moving around, even walking around, hanging out with kids. I think it was at a camp. Obviously, they're trying to put a little bit of a stress test on that injury, give him some light contact, get him backpedaling, and put him in pads. And then the most important part that we won't hear about, which is how did his body respond after this? How is he feeling? How is that injury, recovering day to day as he starts to put some more stress and tension under it will be the true story on how quickly Jermod gets back. But, this channel is rightly so really high on Colton Hood, really high on Ricky Gibson. Boo Carter seems to be back in the graces here and running good. And if you sprinkle a little Jermod McCoy in there, you're starting to talk about a really, really dangerous dime package secondary from Tennessee this upcoming September.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat say Ricky Gibson is also an NFL corner. I think Colton Hood. I think we've got 3 NFL corners, maybe 4. Man, McMurray, although, reading the reports, he's been working a lot of star throughout fall camp, which is, because Boo Carter's back, but he's not 100% back. And McMurray's taking a lot of those reps at star, so we'll see what he does. Let me catch back up with you guys in the chat. We got a lot of people showing off how long they've been a member. Landon for 36 months, Corey Smith for 33 months. Adam Evans becomes a new member of the channel. Shout out, Adam. We appreciate that. Also, Jeff Clabo gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. So somebody in the chat got a free Talkin VAWLS membership. Let's talk about memberships and show off our favorite custom Talkin VAWLS emoji. Flood the chat with your favorite. Vols going to ball for 2. BBS is at an all-time high this offseason. Why? Why are our pets' heads falling off? Why is the sky always falling? It's going to be okay. This is Vol Nation in a nutshell. Vol's going to ball, suffering with BBS. But then Corey Smith for 10 says, I think this team is sneaky good. That's where I'm at. I think they're going to surprise people. I don't know that they're going to go out and win 10 games and make the playoffs, but I think they're better than some people believe. Adam Evans for 5 says, Dorfy. Shout out, Evan. Why do I keep saying Evan when it's Adam? We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. I'm excited to see Jermod McCoy. What do you guys think? Seeing him move on Friday, what's the timetable? You think he can make it back by Georgia based on what he's doing there?
Yeah, me personally, I think Georgia for sure. Just looking, if we didn't have, say, Colton didn't come in, if we had to have him, I think he could go maybe game 1 if it was a must-have situation, or if we had like a Texas versus Ohio State type situation for week 1. We're just fortunately don't. We got Syracuse. Think we can get through that. And then there's why risk him against ETSU unless you just need him to have game reps. Coach might be able to speak on this a little bit, but game reps to get up to speed. But we've seen a lot of times we've lost guys in games that are somewhat trivial and have injuries that put you out for the season. So you want to risk reward there. They're going to evaluate all that stuff. That's their job. But I think he could go as soon as they needed him. But I'm eyeing Georgia. I think Georgia's the time when you give him as much rest as you can, try to get him up to speed, and that would be my time frame. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, ideally, if you can go, if you're really starting to move around swiftly and play at full speed leading into the ETSU game, then I think you give them, maybe 5 series, something like that in that game, especially if it's the type of thing where he wants to play the whole game. It's like, okay, let's give you 5 series. Let's see how it feels, and let's get locked, cocked, and ready to rock for Georgia. So I always like being able to have a little bit of an acclimation period, but not necessary. Jermod's a fantastic player who can certainly handle himself on short notice if he's moving around at full speed during practice.
We got 317 people watching live right now. We appreciate you tuning in for this coverage of Scrimmage number 1. We're going to listen to Josh Heupel. We're going to talk about some Scrimmage notes. Let me catch up with you guys. Nicholas has been a member for 33 months. Says, please sleep on us this year. Luke Thompson gifted another Talkin VAWLS membership. Shout out, Luke. We appreciate it. Ball's going to ball for 2. Says, I don't have BBS, but everyone I talk to does. Shout out, Ball's going to ball. Man, it is what it is. It's talking season. People are full of there. You can't change somebody's mind after watching that Ohio State game because we've not played a single football game since then. And until Tennessee takes the field against Syracuse, that's going to be the way it is. I get it. I understand. The Garbage Man has been a member for 9 months. Go ahead.
You think it's just the unknown, right? Like we have so many new spots. I mean, talent's not an issue, but across the board, we're just a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces. You think people just naturally, if they don't know, it's going to be a negative. Like, is that where that's coming from? Because we haven't had anything, any hard points to go on that are negative. It's just the unknown.
I feel like anytime you're coaching any kind of high turnover football, like college football, like high school football, as a coach, And if I'm being truthful, I'm always a little nervous at the first kickoff. Like I've been around teams where it's like you feel like you got a winner, man. You feel like you got a national title team or a high school title team, and it comes out and it's just not popping. And then you have years where the vice versa is true, and everything in between, man. It can just be a little bit of a wild sport sometimes. And I think the coaching staff, like you said, Val likes the talent. I think they feel good. I think they're built to compete right now. But I think if they're being honest, it's like there's that moment of, okay, I feel this way. I see this. I want to see it now in live action, right? I need that moment where I get that release that, oh, okay, I was right about how I felt. And I feel like that's how Vol Nation feels. We got a pretty good idea we're going to be all right. We just want to see it for a second. You know what I mean? And then we'll kind of have that. All right, we're good. We're all good.
I get that BVS. I know what that feels like, but at the same time, when I get this much turnover on a team, like I kind of get excited myself.
Yes,
like
new
I
blood.
get excited.
Oh, yeah,
I wanna see what
yeah.
happens.
Well,
Yeah.
I think some of that too is the national perspective, right? What's the national perspective?
Mm.
You got to look at people. There's 340 people watching the three of us talk about Tennessee football scrimmage number one. Those 340 people are just as psychotic as us. So you go back to when people hit the transfer portal, right? When the secondary was depleted. Secondary's depleted. You bring in Boo Carter as a true freshman. We all know who Boo Carter was. I'd say most of these people in the chat knew who Boo Carter was. I'd seen Boo Carter in person and knew who Boo Carter was. So he comes in and contributes as a true freshman. Ricky Gibson, right? We signed Jordan Matthews, Ricky Gibson, and Christian Conyer, 3 corners in the same class. Coach Jay did a film breakdown on all 3 of them. Ricky Gibson is the one that worked out. And so you see Jordan Matthews, you see Christian Conyer leave. Where did Christian Conyer go? App State. Are you worried about a guy that the only opportunity he had leaving Tennessee was App State? Like, I wish Christian Conyer the best, but then you go get Jermod McCoy in the portal. And now all of a sudden, we're talking about 3 NFL corners. But when you rewind time, maybe the national perspective was Tennessee is depleted because X number of guys left in the secondary. Now we're seeing the same thing on the offensive line. Well, it's easy to write an article or put out a video and say, well, Tennessee only returns 1 starter on the offensive line, and that was Lance Hurd. He sucks. Yeah, Lance Hurd was hurt. He was beat up. He was banged up. You signed a 5-star in David Sanders on the right, and then you went out and got 2 guards in Sam Pendleton and Wendell Moore Jr., who have a lot of experience, but a lot of football still in front of them too. Like maybe the casual fan doesn't realize that, but when they listen to national guys talk, it's easy to sell that negative narrative.
Right. Well, you take all the national pundits, they're going to see that there's turnover. They're going to see that there's change, or they're going to see the F beside the name for a freshman, right? I don't think, and rightfully so, there's so many teams that cover on a national scale, but they're not digging in to see what that kid, maybe his recruiting ranking, that's it. They're not seeing what he did in spring practice or the gains he's making week to week. Like, we're kind of dug in there, and you got like people like AP, Hubs, Kaner, like that's really in there every day and getting to see these people. So maybe we have a better perspective or higher expectations for these guys because we're hearing the positives also and not just seeing a question mark. Right. I don't think the national media is necessarily – they just go straight to the negative just because they see a question mark. But, I mean, that's just how I take it.
Well, we all do that, like, armchair Athlon magazine thing, right? I mean, like, look if you're not talking about Tennessee. Let's imagine you just open your Athlon or your Street Smith or your Lindy's or whatever you read, and you go to a random team, right? You just pick a random team and you see quarterback transferred late, replacing a bunch of wide receivers, thin at wide receiver, brand new offensive line. Like, what are you going to think? Like, if you're not entrenched in what's going on with the team, you're going to look at that and go, no, that's not going to be good. So I do understand it, but I think we feel good about our talent level. Like I was saying, the offensive line, that's the one I want to see it because I'm with Boogie. I think they can be good. I think they can be better. That they're healthy. We weren't healthy at all last year at offensive line. We really weren't. They're healthy, but once again, because they're young, because they're new, I gotta see it. And then that thinness, are we going to be walking on eggshells all season at the wide receiver position? It is something else that remains to be seen. So those are the things that got Coach Jay's BVS up. But other than that, I feel really good about it.
Right on cue, Robert's in the house. What's up, Robert? He drops a 20 spot, and this is the perfect time to play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
I feel like he typed this directly to Coach Jay before Coach Jay had even spoke right there. He says, don't sleep on our offensive line. Very impressed and much improved from last year, which will make up on any downslide in our running game from last season. Yeah, I mean, that's the reports coming out of the scrimmage, is that the offensive line had a lot of success running the football, but they struggled once again in pass protection.
But running is easy. Run blocking is 10 times easier than pass protection as an offensive lineman, especially a young offensive lineman, and that should be noted.
And in this scheme, right? Like, this scheme is set up to have success running the football.
Yes, correct.
But I thought this was interesting. We're kind of bleeding this into the scrimmage notes as well. AP kind of said the same thing. First of all, the insider, the guy that said he had inside connections, said the defensive line dominated the day. But then it comes back later that AP's like, no, they had success running the football, struggled in pass protection. But I thought this was interesting. Somebody asked AP who the starting five were, Fowl, and it was Lance Hurd at left tackle, Wendell Moore Jr. at left guard, William Satterwhite at center, and then Perry at right guard, Sanders at right tackle. But Hubbs kind of came back later and said Sam Pendleton did scrimmage, but he's limited because he's been banged up. So right. I think Sam Pendleton's going to be our center. I think he's the guy.
Yeah, I think that answered that question. I think Pendleton's a guy. Also, that shows you how quick, maybe without having that experience or that leadership there, how quickly maybe that pass protection or those calls could deteriorate. And that's not taken away from Satterwhite. That's just experience. And then you add in that you're rotating quarterbacks, and if it's even remotely even on the rotation, I mean, that's a lot of change from rep to rep to rep, and also trying to get your calls down. And even like Coach was saying, it's like in a run fit, like you're going out, your block, you're going out and getting your block, right? Versus in a pass protection, you're almost have to react and catch your block. So it's two totally different situations. But that does worry me. Like what if Sam goes down? Like what if Sam if this is a lingering thing? We went through these offensive line injuries and being banged up last year. I think that's the key to this whole thing. I don't want to get too broad of a topic here, but like it's all going to come down to me with these injuries. Like as long as we stay healthy, I think we're as talented and can play with anybody in the country. But we're just a couple injuries away from being in a real tough spot.
And then put yourself in the center's hands too, right? You're a brand new center with a brand new quarterback, and you draw 5-star David Hobbs and Jackson Moy is an assignment, and you're like, but what also a valuable tool you have is a coaching staff to be able to put him in that kind of conflict, because there's going to be no quarter given to that position once we get into Southeastern Conference play. So they got to grow up quick. That's what we want in that first scrimmage, is that kind of conflict to get put into. And I think you'll see Sam put in kind of that Swiss Army knife position. I do think we'll see him play guard and center quite a bit this year in both spots, to be honest. You're just going to see it when someone gets nicked up, someone gets a 2-2. Offensive linemen are popping out for series all the time. I think be prepared to see both play that.
Also, where does Sham fit in? Where does Umarov fit in? Like, he's going to have some rotation at guard too. So between him and Jesse Perry there. So I think you're going to have some, maybe, call me crazy, maybe a little bit more depth than we're used to, if that's a thing.
I definitely believe that. I definitely believe, like in hearing that Bennett Warren has had a good camp, and he's offensive tackle number 3. I think that's good, because like Coach said, you're going to rotate offensive linemen. Guys are going to come out. Guys are going to get banged up, and having, Sam brings you so much versatility. Like if you need him at guard, can you count on William Satterwhite? I don't know. Like if he's having issues snapping the football, I don't know how I feel about that. There's a reason that Satterwhite's being held off the field. But then again, like you said, Perry, Sham, Umarov, I think that's still a battle. I don't think that one's solved yet. I think it could go either way as far as who starts at guard if Sam Pendleton's at center.
Colin, apology accepted, bro. Welcome.
Oh, is that the guy from the other night?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Apology accepted.
Hey, you opened up a great segment, Colin. It takes a man to come back.
Great content.
Yeah, it takes a man to come back and say I was wrong. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me hit this real quick. Yeah. Chandler Matthews drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
He says, count on you guys for all my Vols news. We're going to make some waves this season. Everybody looking over us. What a great position. LFG. Well, shout out, Chandler. Appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate the kind words. Glad that you dig what we do around here. Brisson Hatfield for 2 teams will attack Sanders. Do you think he'll hold? I think there's going to be growing pains with David Sanders. Like, look, it's hard to start as a true freshman in the SEC on the offensive line at the tackle position. So, yeah, there'll be growing pains there, I think.
Yeah, like we said with Jaden Proctor, Alabama. Look at his freshman year. He's probably the #1 offensive tackle in college football this year. He struggled. They were calling for him to be benched at moments. And then at moments, he looked brilliant as a freshman. There's going to be freshman moments for David Sanders. You can book it, but I think he's going to have moments of brilliance too.
Well, Coach had a glowing review of him today. Heupel talked about Dave and how well he's played. But at the end of the day, I don't care if you're a fifth-year redshirt senior, playing tackle in SEC is tough. Like, you're going to have good plays, bad plays. You're going to face the best of the best week in, week out. So it's tough regardless. Everybody's going to have a hard time. And you put that on a freshman, of course he's going to make mistakes. But if you want to put somebody out there, Dave's the guy, right? Like, everybody, his teammates, coaches, everybody's talked about how mature he's been, how much work he's put in. So if you want to have confidence in a freshman, and if you can have confidence in a freshman, I think Dave deserves it.
And look at just the ability, and I know it's the regular thing in college football now, but being an early enrollee, and we just talked about this Wednesday night, talking about the moment he had against Don Bailey, and it's like, oh, I can hold my own. And then somebody in the chat just put, how much weight Dave's put on since being on campus. But still, bottom line, he's a freshman. He's going to have some growing pains. Let's talk about this scrimmage, because everybody in the chat's asking about the quarterbacks. Where are we going? This chat is growing. We're now up to 400 people watching live, so it's time to talk about this scrimmage. But you can't help us out by smashing the thumbs up and sharing it out. Let's get it to 500. Can we get 500 people watching on a Saturday in fall camp? I don't know that we can, but we're going to try. What is up with it's showing the YouTube names. I know that's Gary. I know Gary and Orange Sea Line when I see him. It is football time in Tennessee. That means that Gary is back and becoming a member of the channel, the Orange Sea Line. I don't know why it says Alms 07, but that's what it says. But we appreciate you. It's good to see you back in the chat, my friend. He's probably here to yell at Coach Jay about Nico. I am sure that's why he is.
Love it.
Well, it's the perfect time to talk quarterbacks because Gary's in the house. I thought it was interesting. I mentioned this yesterday in my video. Pete Nakos on 3.com put out I don't know if it was a video. What I saw was in written form, and it was talking about this whole quarterback competition. It was talking about fall camp intel, and he was talking about the quarterback battle and basically said that his sources have told him. Now, keep in mind, this is the guy that broke the Nico news when everybody was denying it. Pete Nakos was on it. He said that Joey Aguilar is currently running with the ones during practice. Now, we see routes on air, right? We see limited media. We see 10, 15 minutes, and then they are kicked out. And when they're kicked out, Joey's running with the ones. Jake Merklinger is running with the twos. But if you look around and you look around the internet, you go to VolQuest, go Vols 247, wherever you get your information, inside information, it sounds like the quarterbacks struggled today. It sounds like Joey struggled today. It sounds like Jake struggled today. But guess who threw the football well? George McIntyre threw that football the best. He connected with Travis Smith, Rad Jackson, Deshaun Brame multiple times. Deshaun Brame had a touchdown reception from him. Also had a touchdown reception from Jake Merklinger. But it sounds like Jake struggled the most with accuracy. Joey Aguilar also threw a pick six. That's a big concern going into this season. Is Joey going to turn the football over? Does Josh Heupel's offense fix him? Lots to unpack there, Foul Ming. Number one, Joey doing what Joey did last year, throwing a pick six. But also George McIntyre, the freshman, the gunslinger. Does he have a shot in this thing, or are we just going to blow up and overhype a fall scrimmage?
Well, absolutely, that's what we're going to do. That's Vol Nation. That's what we're known for. But no, I was surprised. I'm not going to lie. Like that, I wasn't expecting that review. I expected there to be struggles, mostly because of new offensive line, three new quarterbacks, and wide receivers being banged up. I don't think we've had our starting three together at a practice yet, as far as 1, 2, and 3 wide receivers. So I expect the offense to struggle a little bit, but I was surprised to hear, because we've all heard how Jake's been so consistent. Joey's been Joey, like he's come in and kind of assumed that role a little bit, not on his own, but like just as a whole, we've kind of collectively thought that he was going to be QB1. But after hearing today, I may have to go back on my words in some of these last few lives and say maybe it is a competition. Maybe there is something there. Is it more impressive to see the freshmen come in and show out, or is it more worrisome that the freshmen look the best out of the three? You should have a guy with experience that obviously has plenty of reasons he should show out, and then you have a guy who's been in the system the longest, and he should show out, and neither one of them showed out today. So, go ahead, Coach.
Would both of you agree that George has the most arm talent out of the three?
I would.
George has by far the highest ceiling, but I think Coach Heupel is looking for the guy that has the highest floor, right? I think especially with this defense, with this running game, and I don't think somebody in the chat just said it. He's not going to start a freshman. If he didn't start Nico, he's not starting George. No way. No. Zero chance.
He's not going to start him. I agree there, but all of a sudden that conversation of like, do we make a change mid-season starts to open up. I mean, what if, okay, this is scrimmage one, we're going to overthink everything, right? But what if this is the trend? What if the next scrimmage, what if GMAC looks the best again? Okay, what if we play Syracuse and we get up and GMAC gets in there and tears it up? Or an ETSU, what if we sit the upperclassman and let him play a little bit in the second half and he comes in and throws 3 strikes right out the gate? Like, do you start to think about it? Do you start to wonder? I think we're making too much of it. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that a lot of wide receivers were out. A lot of wide receivers were missing. You could throw in the fact that George probably has the most experience with some of these younger wide receivers, maybe the most timing with some of these young guys because they're also freshmen and underclassmen. So maybe he's had the most reps with those guys. I'm just making up excuses here for him, guys. Like, I know there's a lot to go into.
While you're making up excuses too, he's also going against the 2s and the 3s, while Joey and Jake are going against the 1s and the 2s in the scrimmage. That's a big difference too.
It's also your chance to let it hang out and make mistakes is in scrimmages, right? Like that's your chance to go out there and press it. If I'd heard he went out there and threw 2 or 3, like one bad pass that got away, pick 6 in the first scrimmage, I think I'll forgive it. But all of our radar is going to be on, right? Because we know that number that Joey put up last year. So the radar is going to be on high alert. But there was a comment just a minute ago. Yeah, don't F it up. This should be a top 10 defense. Like there's no reason that we aren't sitting on a top 10 defense. Our offense cannot put us in a position to lose games as good as our defense is going to be.
So do you go with the safe choice? Do you go with the guy that protects the football the most? And again, look, we're overreacting to a couple of notes that came out from scrimmage in fall camp.
We're Vol fans.
Josh Heupel sees what happens on that practice field every single day behind closed doors. But I think, you look at his track record, and would Hendon Hooker have ever seen the field if Joe Milton didn't get hurt? Would he have ever gone on the field that year? Or would he have just kept trotting Joe out there, right? And then we all wanted to see Nico when Joe was starting. He's not starting Nico as a true freshman. And now here we sit. We're in the same situation again. And guess what? We'll be in it again next year when Faison Brandon's on campus. Everybody be talking about him. But that's going to be a quarterback battle for the ages. That Faison Brandon, George McIntyre. George with a full year in the system. I think Jake ultimately ends up transferring out, but I still think it's Joey. I think Joey's QB1. I think the Pete Nakos report saying that Joey's taking reps with the 1s behind closed doors. I think that speaks volumes about who's going to be your starting quarterback.
Just to put a little bit of a bow on it, does any of this coming out today, and granted it's one thing, just take it as it is, but does this change your opinion at all about who the safe choice is between, say, maybe Jake and Joey? Not at all.
They said Jake struggled with accuracy too. Maybe just didn't throw an interception, right? So, no.
Right. I'm not saying I lean more or the other. I'm just asking you guys, like, what do you think?
100%. We're riding and dying with Joey, baby. That's who we're rolling with. We're going with Joey. Come on.
Muted, Coach.
Just to be a complete Tennessee Vol fan and completely go overboard, the problem Jake had a lot in the spring game. I mean, once we got into full team, not the 7-on-7, he looked brilliant, right? 1-on-1s, he looked brilliant. But once we got into full team, it seemed like he was either short or hot, but he was short more than he was hot. And I'd rather a quarterback be overthrowing my wide receivers like Nico than someone be shortening them like that, because shortening them gets the ball picked. So that can be a big problem as well. I'd rather them just let loose, overshoot them than shorten them up. So that's on limited reps though, once again. So once again, a complete overreaction. Don't clip me and come for me later.
But you also got to factor in what we just talked about with the offensive line. They struggled in pass protection. That impacts the quarterback, right? So let me catch up with you guys in the chat. We're almost to 500 people watching, 478. Keep smashing that thumbs up. Keep sharing out the link. Let's hit 500 on a Saturday afternoon. Nate Pruitt's in the house, updating that membership. We appreciate you, Nate. It's good to see you doing well and back in the chat, my friend. Hope all is well. Rocky Top Balls for 5. Can we please not rush the field if we beat Georgia? Oh, we're rushing the field. We'll rip the goalpost down and throw them back in the river where they belong. You just wait. Timothy McGee for 2. Maybe the pick 6 was the stupid sideline pass. Oh, Timothy's in regular season mode. He's ready to rock and roll. You know, Coach was trying to talk a minute ago, but he was muted. And we sell a T-shirt to remind him that he's muted. He forgot to wear it today, but we do have it, and you can pick one up. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. But we've also got this brand new TN merchandise. Kevin killed it with this one. Another great logo, clean T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, whatever you want. Racerbacks, got those in there because Miss J can't survive without her. Talkin VAWLS, Racerbacks, baseball themed shirts. But we also got the hats, bucket hats, trucker hats, Nike hats. We also got Nike themed Talkin VAWLS merchandise, golf polos, quarter zips. There's the You're Muted shirt. I said I was never going to put an emoji back on a shirt because that usually leads to somebody leaving the channel and starting their own. So when Coach Jay starts a channel, you can blame it on me. But all kinds of fun merchandise. We've got rivalry shirts, parody shirts like VWO Vol World Order, because if you're talking Vols, you're talking Vols for life. The link's in the description, but also it's bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Just wanted to do a little quick plug, shill. Let's get back into it. Anything else from the scrimmage you guys want to talk about? Of course, the quarterbacks was the hot topic. Offensive line was a pretty good topic. Anything else you've seen down there, Fal, that you want to run through? I guess we can talk about the running backs.
Well, talk about what?
Talk about the running back. Sounded like Star Thomas had himself a day. Deshaun Bishop looked good as well.
Yeah, I was going to touch on Boo for a second, but we'll go back to that in a minute. Running backs, it sounds like Star's making drastic improvements from spring to now. Coach was glowing on him today too. We already know what we have in Bishop and Lewis. I think both those guys are going to show out this year. I think now we're maybe turning into a 3-headed monster. It'd be nice to have consistency and know you can count on 3 backs in this offense. I don't know that we've ever had, you correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't know that we've had a 3-back rotation consistently since Hop's been here. But it'll be exciting to see if you could have all 3 of those guys fresh throughout a game. I mean, we're averaging what, 200, almost 200 a game anyway since Hop's been here. So, I think that's going to be what would you say, maybe the wild card. If Star can come in and produce, I think he's going to be much better than a lot of people expected. I know if anybody plays college football, shout out, we got a dynasty going. That Star was your starter right out the gate on the game. That might have got some people's heads turned at first. I think everybody's going to sleep on Bishop. I don't know why, they just do. But Star could be a much bigger contributor than maybe just the depth piece that we thought he was when he first came in.
Coach, talk about Star Thomas in your film breakdown. I always, anytime I bring him up, I direct people back to that film breakdown. Kind of give the gist of why you were so high on him when he transferred in.
Just vision, right? Like the number one thing I look for in a good running back is vision. Star has it. He's got really good hips and feet too. And what I mean when I say that is he keeps his center and his low center when he runs. So he's oftentimes not brought down by that first hit. It's really, really rare that you see Star Thomas ever brought down by that first hit. He's sneaky good leaking out of the backfield for screen passes, swing passes, and wheel routes. I think that's an element that's been missing from Tennessee's offense the past few years. And gosh, I hope Halsey caught it because he is really, really, really good at that. And just a sneaky good back that can do everything you need a back to do. And guess what? He can pick up pass protection really well too. Really, really good. And I think at times we may need that with a young tackle or a young offensive line. So it's really, really nice to know that you can run that 11 personnel and run a little bit different of a look, maybe leak out an extra tight end or hit that X wide receiver with some extra blocking in there. Just gives you a lot more options and a lot more things you can do out of that 11 personnel, as well as spread.
You get some confidence too at the quarterback position when you can trust your protection, right? You can sit in there for that extra second because you know your running back's going to pick up that guy. And if you guys remember, I'd forgot about this till you started talking, Coach. If you remember, if he's improved that much, even back in the spring game, he looked the best out of the three. If I remember correctly, we're all sitting there watching and talking about it. There were several times he probably had the most explosive plays of the day as a whole. Now I know that's a spring game, take it for what it is, but if he's improved on that's a lot to look forward to there.
Yeah, really excited about Star.
Let me hit a couple super chats and we'll come back to Fowl wanted to bring up Boo Carter. Brad's in the house, been a member for 40 months. GBO, good or bad, don't overreact to the first scrimmage news. Boogie, today is Saturday, by the way. Did I say Sunday on the intro? I saw 48 people talking about what day it is. I don't know. You're lucky I'm functioning this early on this Saturday afternoon. Bob's in the house, White Lightning, BFL for 5. Joey and Miles hooked up and started building chemistry as soon as Joey got on campus. Ball's going to ball for 2. Says, are you doing a commitment live stream for Savion Hyder? Yes, we will definitely do one for Savion Hyder. We may do one for Darius Gray. I'm not sure yet. That one could be a coin toss. Tennessee kind of looks on the outside looking in, but Savion Hyder, number 1 running back in the country, Tennessee, Michigan. It sounds like it is a coin toss, 50-50 shot. So we're definitely going to be covering that one live. Timothy for 10. Says, why do y'all freak out about the wide receivers when you have blocking receivers in tight end, running back? If your wide receivers are having problems, start using them tight ends and running backs. Well, the reason I freak out, and I'm not freaking out, I'm just having a conversation, is because we have 7 scholarship wide receivers. 7. 3 of those 7 have been injured. 3 of those 7 are also true freshmen. I don't think it's time to freak out, but I think it's worth having a conversation about. We talked about that Wednesday night, Timothy, because a lot of people say, oh, if somebody gets hurt, just put Deshaun Brame out there at wide receiver. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. We did talk about, something you may see as a whole lot more 12 personnel. We saw that last year. May see that again this year if you're struggling with depth at that wide receiver position.
And if you wanted to flex a tight end, sorry, Coach, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
It's if you're going to flex a tight end, it's like, well, why wouldn't it be Ethan Davis, who also played wide receiver in high school and hasn't played any wide receiver since he got here, and at times has struggled to get reps. So I don't know that in no way do I think that's going to happen. I think Ethan Davis is your tight end 2, and that's locked in. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying if you were going to flex somebody at wide receiver, why would you not pick a guy who's been in the system the most? But I just don't see that happening. I think it would just be like classic 12 personnel or different packages to move those guys around.
Or even throwing Trey Weary out there. That's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to that.
That, and if you get stuck with multiple freshman wide receivers, you run into the problem of them getting jammed up at the line against more seniored out DB groups. And when that happens, and then I can tighten up the screws and squeeze down in zero coverages, it also makes the tight end and the running back pass game harder to execute because, there's not so much space for them to operate in when I've tightened things up. So it can become a little bit of a constriction problem for the offense schematically.
Let's talk about Boo Carter, pal.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that from what I've seen on VolQuest, AP and Hubs, that he did participate. He did participate today. He did play, but I think he didn't take any defensive reps. He's just returning kicks and things of that nature. So he's still on the road to come back in, but it is nice to see that he participated today. He was part of the scrimmage, but it is concerning to see that he's still not getting any defensive reps. That's the other wild card. We're looking for wide receiver depth. If he hadn't missed anything, you'd like to think that he would be getting offensive reps also. But there's just a lot to go into that, because then if he's not getting defensive reps, that's another DB, starting DB that wasn't on the field, and we still struggled offensively against some the second and third string guys. So I just wanted to spiral into that a little bit. What do you think about him not getting defensive reps? Do you think he's still just on the road, the path to getting back in there? And then do you think he will get any offensive reps? I think we're going to be forced to, but I don't know that when that time frame is. But just what did you guys think about those two things?
Yeah, I wonder how much run he got on offense in the spring, right? Because now here we sit, we're what over a third of the way, right at a third of the way, maybe through fall camp, and he's still not practicing defense. So what are you doing on offense? Like, you got a lot to learn on offense. It takes a lot to play both sides of the football. That's why when we talk about a tight end and just say, hey, go play wide, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to go, well, I'm athletic, I could do it in high school, so I'm going to jump over and play offense. I think Boo Carter's the type of kid that can do it, but I think he's still just trying to earn his trust back. I saw some people on VolQuest saying, what do you think it would do if Josh Heupel suspended him for the Syracuse game, made him sit out a game? Make him continue to earn it, man. And I think Boo Carter, we'll see how his career plays out. I think his head's on straight right now. I hope he continues to move in the right direction, and I hope we don't hear his name this upcoming offseason. I hope it's a non-factor, and I hope he comes back for his junior season and balls out, plays both sides of the ball. But I don't know. I don't know. See, hearing that all he did was field punts today, I think it's just another step on his path back, Coach.
Yeah, I think they're just slow pushing him to earn his spot back on the field. It's like you treat him like he's a brand new freshman coming in, and he's got to earn a spot, right? So you start them out generally in a special team capacity, as we all know, when you have those young, talented freshmen. And I think that's all they're doing with him is they moved him to the back of the depth chart, put him in that role, and he's going to have to earn his way back slowly, which is fine. That's what should have to happen if you're going to let someone back in the situation that he was in. How much run he got in the spring at offense and stuff like that, I don't know. We're never going to know something like that. If I were Heupel and Halsey, I certainly would keep that as secret as humanly possible until the Georgia game anyway.
Yeah, and how much run is he getting right now? Right, it's scrimmage number 1. All eyes are on the scrimmage. All the information's leaking out. Everybody's talking about it. Has Boo been working offense and defense in practice behind closed doors? You know, I mean, he could be doing that, but because this is an opportunity, this is a scrimmage is a big thing in fall camp where Josh Heupel can say, nope, he fielded punts and that's all he did. And so now everybody's saying, oh, but he's making Boo pay. He's making Boo earn his way back. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Boo's out there running in the slot. Exactly. Boo's out there running in the star. We don't know. That's why we speculate.
And Coach didn't really want to speak on it. They asked him directly, and he kind of him and hawed around about it a little bit. And then he said, well, he did participate. That's all he wanted to say. And then, of course, VolQuest, some of the media said, well, he just fielded punts. So, but also, like, did Ricky Gibson play today? I didn't know if he was on the list or not.
No, he was on the list, did not.
So, okay, that's McCoy out, Ricky Gibson out, and Boo Carter didn't play defense. And then the only freshman I'm thinking that may end up getting some time there, maybe Ty Redmond, also didn't practice.
Right. And he's the freshman that they're talking the most about in DB right now.
And he didn't play. So, once again, I don't want to keep going back to the previous topics, but, like, does that make the concerns even higher that we still struggled to throw the ball around when 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe is or not, putting Colton, he's in there somewhere, but let's say 4 or 3 out of the top 5 didn't play. Does that change your idea of, like, yeah, it's just scrimmage 1, or does that say, okay, maybe there's some red flags here?
Well, the pick 6 went to Connor Brazel. So if that tells you the type of talent that was out there, I didn't have it on my bingo card that he was going to be the first Brazel to get a touchdown in ball game.
It's like, did he make a play or was it a bad read? We don't know.
Right.
That kid, by the way, either you watched his tape.
I have not.
Scary athletic, just so you know, like scary athletic and really, really lightning fast. But we don't know the situation and where that happened. Yeah, I mean, Joey could have had direct A-gap pressure. There could have been a miscommunication, or wide receiver went the wrong way. It could have been a terrible decision and the kid jumped the ball and it was really stupid. It could have been anything and everything in between. So to sit here and kind of do the Hangover movie math behind your head is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see this video or the tapes or anything like. I mean,
sure.
It's. I know it's hard, and especially Chad. I apologize, because I couldn't see it with my own eyes, so I'm really I got no choice but to speculate here. But, like, I'm just throwing out different scenarios and seeing what you guys think and what the chat thinks.
But that's what we do. That's all we can do, right? Like, if you're coming over to the house to drink a cold beer and we're going to talk about scrimmage number 1, that's what we're going to do. We're going to speculate. That's why we got almost 500 people watching, because you guys in the chat want to speculate the same way that we're speculating, and that's what we're doing, and that's what makes this channel different, unique, and it's for the fans, by the fans. Dave, Dirty Dave, remember, for 26 months, his life is good. GBO, appreciate you, Dave. Timothy for 5. Yep, take some money and keep Boo as a special team specialist for 6 games. I see some mixed feelings about Boo in the chat. There's people that are mad at him.
I won in week 3, guys.
There's people.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I won in week 3.
Me too. But there's people that are mad at him, and then there's people that are saying you can't bitch a star. Well, we just told a 5-star quarterback to kick rocks and said that nobody's bigger than the T. Which one is it?
You definitely can.
But you still wouldn't mind them for game.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't.
If we're playing video games, I can just plug him in there. No emotions tied to it. What are we doing, guys? Like, come on.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings. Would not hurt my feelings one bit. Andrew becomes a member of the channel. Shout out Andrew, man. I hope you'll come hang out with us Sunday. Members only stream Sunday night, 7:00. Fan call-in show. We'll let you guys come on, drive the show. We'll talk about the scrimmage. We'll talk about fall camp, whatever you guys want to talk about. But you got to be a member of the channel. So shout out Andrew for becoming a member. Retro's a Georgia fan, but he's also a member of this channel. He also is going to get destroyed on EA Sports College Football 26. I got to put this in the chat. I don't talk about this enough. You guys have an opportunity to play EA Sports College Football 26 with me, Coach Jay, Foul Ming, Dauber, the X Factor. We're all in there, all having a good time. I'll put that in the chat right now. There's a link where you can come be a part of that. Retro's a part of that. A lot of trash talk. There's a Florida fan in there. Why do we have Florida and Georgia fans in our Patreon dynasty? I don't know. But shout out Retro. We appreciate you, brother. Backwoods for 5. 98 was supposed to be a rebuild year. New quarterback, younger offensive line. First game was on the road against Syracuse. Just saying. Feels like 98. What's up, Backwoods? It's good to see you in the chat, brother. All right. We got almost 500 people. Let's jump over. Let's go take a listen to what Coach Heupel had to say post-scrimmage. You guys know the deal. We'll pause and provide commentary throughout. Let's take a listen.
We'll go right into questions. Great to be out here inside the stadium for scrimmage. As close to a game day environment as we're going to get before we kick off here in a few weeks. A lot of good, a lot of things to learn from too. Got situational football in, which is good for everybody, in particular quarterbacks. But excited to go watch the tape. So open it up. I also wanted to say this too. You guys can see we got a ton of families that are here for today's scrimmage. So appreciate all of them coming by, and it's always great to get our entire family together.
How do you think the quarterback benefited from being in this setting?
Yeah, it's as close to game day. We try to make practice like game day when we get into our team periods. How we function, operate. Make it game day like officials, that type of thing. But this is as close as you're going to get. So them having to own it, control situations, unique situations that come on just in the normal flow. And then, the situations that we put them in, 4-minute coming out today. Football awareness and control and everything.
Did you do well in those things?
Yeah, overall, there's a few things that we can clean up at quarterback, but really on both sides of the football too, some subtle details, which at this point in training camp, you're constantly growing and pushing to go master the details of the game. And that doesn't just end during training camp. Good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the season. And these guys have had a good mindset, have grown each day. But we got a lot more that we got to get to before we get to kickoff.
I love how switched on he is. Like you can tell he just can't wait to actually get to that film. He didn't even want to be talking to these reporters right now. He's like, hey, I got to get to this film. I got to fix X, Y, and Z, and we got to get back to work. We got a season to get to. We got some tail to go whip. Get me in that film room. Let me get back to work. That's kind of yeah.
That's the way he looked after Joey Aguilar threw that first pick. He's like, oh no, here we go. The chat was right. He was sitting there in the house in Knoxville on a Wednesday night listening to Talkin VAWLS. He said, the chat's right. I've made a mistake. I've made a huge mistake. Mr. O'Neill in the chat is reading body language. That's always fun to do. Read body language. But look, last year I felt like Hype had a confidence about it. We talked about it a lot last year throughout fall camp. He had a swag to him. You going to read some body language, Foul Mean? How you feeling with Hype? Well, a minute 40 into this thing.
To me, he's just excited to be back in the season. You can tell. You can absolutely tell. Like he's got the juice. Like he's ready to go. Like he's ready to scrimmage again today. Like you can just tell that about him. He wants to be. He's all about ball. I don't know if you've watched some of that SEC documentary yet, but you can just tell the difference. Like Hype on the mic, he's just trying to say what he's got to say, give out as little information as he can, and get the hell out of there. And then as soon as he's in the locker room, that's when his personality comes out. That's when he turns it on. And like Coach says, like all he wants to do is go talk ball. He wants to get in that quarterback room, go over film the rest of the day, and go over every little piece that they maybe missed here, what they did well. And I'm not concerned at all by anything he's said or his actions to this point. To me, it's just Coach getting excited about ball and ready to be back in the season.
He is the master of saying absolutely nothing while speaking. Like nothing. You can't tell. Like I said yesterday in my video talking about Joey Aguilar being QB1 behind the scenes or whatever, talking about how there's more than just going out and making plays. And I was like, I guarantee you, and I'm still going to place my bet. We're going to hear something about command of the offense. He had good command of the offense. We're going to hear that. If we don't, I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
Anybody that's ever interviewed someone, you know the art of open-ended questions. So you don't get that direct one, yes or no. So Coach is the master of open-ended answers. Like he will not give you like a straight one way or the other. He's like, well, here's 15 reasons that I don't want to answer your question. Here's 15 things it could be. You figure it out. Next.
He finishes speaking and you go, what? I got nothing from that. Did he actually say anything? He talked for 1:40 and I still have no idea what he said.
And he's also like, he'll talk just long enough to where you kind of forget what the question was. So then he can just kind of fill it in with some other like bits and pieces. And then you're like, okay, next.
He'll talk so long that he'll go back to the person that asked the question and goes, can you repeat the back half of that question? Because I don't even know what I'm answering at this point.
Only if he's interested in it. If he's not interested, he'll move on.
Daniel in the chat's been a member for 32 months, says if Aguilar is as good as we think he is and all things remain the same, Tennessee will return to the college football playoff field. I'm at 9-3, 10-2. I'm right there in the middle. I don't know. We'll see. I think Joey or Jake, whoever the starting quarterback is, they don't have to win a Heisman. Just be efficient. Briston Hatfield for 2. Do y'all think it's smoke keeping our ones out?
I think it's partially load management. I think
some guys.
Anybody that's got like if you got a sore hamstring, we're treating it like you've got a torn hamstring. Like we're just taking it step by step and not stressing anybody. I think AP said the other day that, like, for example, Braylon's was a hammy, and it's nothing major at this point, but they're just taking every precaution because why would you not? Do you want to put reps on film on the scrimmage one, or do you want him at Syracuse?
Right. And some guys, like I'm not like Jeremiah T-Lander didn't go today, and I'm not worried about that at all. Right. Like Ricky Gibson, not practicing, not worried about that. Josh Joseph's not worried about that. What I worry about is something we talked about Wednesday is timing with the wide receivers, timing with the quarterbacks. And you know, yes, like Sam being banged up. That is not good. I want them to get as many reps together as possible. Chris Brazzell has not practiced yet. How is that going for his rapport, his connection with Joey Aguilar, right? Braylon.
1, 2, and 3 haven't practiced together at all. Yeah, that concerns me a lot. I mean, we're not talking about timing with one receiver. We're talking about timing of the entire passing offense. Yep. If you want to take it that far, I know we probably harp on it too much, but guys, I mean, there's some concern here. Like if we're this banged up early, I mean, this is a long, tough, just grueling season in the SEC, and we got to get those 3 guys somehow. I don't care if it's duct tape. We got to get those 3 guys through this season somehow. I know the freshmen are going to play. At wide receiver, the freshmen are going to play, and they're going to have to, like, they can't just take reps. They're going to have a significant role because these guys, not only do we got to get them through the season, that means, for lack of better terms, going back to my NBA term, load management, you're going to have to do that throughout the season to get these guys through. So I want to hear some more positive things from some of these young guys. I want to hear some good reps from these young guys, especially at wide receiver.
Coach, anything to add? You want me to rock and roll with it?
No, I agree with everything Val said. The wide receiver position's of giant concern just because of depth and health, period. It could end up being a huge problem, and we gotta find a way to stay healthy. I do think load management's going to be super important. And then the converse is true too. Like, why would you play Ricky Gibson against Trey Weary? Like, if he's a little banged up, you don't need to see that. You know, there's certain load management that you can kind of play against each other in that way.
And real quick, Coach, maybe you can explain this to me. It is like timing, for example, things like that, not as important in, say, like the DB room as, say, a wide receiver room. Like, you don't have to have those guys all on the field at the same time, different things like that, because it's more one-on-one type scenarios and just responsibility type scenarios.
Especially at the cornerback position. Yep. Yeah, I would agree.
You're on an island anyway, so right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't put so much
Safety's
hype.
a little different, but yeah, corner, yes.
So much hype and energy and talk about like guys going and throwing in the off season, putting in the extra work. They're doing player-led workouts where they can throw and connect, get their timing, and then act like it's not a big deal when everybody's missing in fall camp.
Game like injuries. So how do you manage when you're in fall camp, having so many guys out, but yet still letting these guys still pull more without getting more injured?
Yeah, you know, your practice habits matter in keeping guys healthy. Some of it, you can't control. Guys have continued to push and take advantage of their opportunities during the course of the season. Game day from week to week, there's an ebb and flow, and next guy's got to be ready to go. And you know, our guys that have been out, some of those guys are coming back. You know, I like what they've done, in particular in our walkthroughs, the detail of it. But as a football team, we just got to continue to grow.
Does it change any of your evaluation at this position or that position? Does it change quarterback? Does it change anything when you're evaluating?
Well, I think you understand the totality of what's going on in the situations that they're put in. But in each phase of the game, it truly is the details, and that's for all 11 guys continuing to grow, and the guys that didn't get that rep. You know, one of the things we talk about is not making the same mistake twice. If you want to be elite, you learn from the guys that made a mistake that you weren't in on and that are playing your position. And you know, I like the growth that we've seen. There's a lot more out there for us. So,
Picture any clear quarterback?
I'm not naming a starter today. All right. But you know, all three of those guys have shown some really good characteristics of doing some special things with the ball, also managing the game, eliminating negatives, and there's some things that you know, each of them and collectively as a group we got to get better at, and that's always the nature of it at this point in training camp.
Joey, obviously.
I'm disappointed nobody has command of the offense right now. Nobody has command of the offense right now. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this. Let me hear it now, Coach.
Run the offense.
Hold on, he's going to talk about Joey again.
Yeah, with what we're doing offensively in our installs, you know, from protections to run game, controlling it, and what he's seen on the other side of the football, how multiple we've been here in the early part of training camp. I really like overall what he's done. There's still more for him within the structure and the details of it, but I like what he's done.
Go ahead, Fal.
Just what you said, like if nobody has control of the offense or taking leadership of the offense from a quarterback perspective, I think is what you were talking about there. You got to think he also is not going to, he wouldn't say it if they did. Because in the same sense of like, I'm not going to name a starter, he's not going to lean anywhere. So if he was to say any of those guys were showing that control of the offense and things like that, that would tell you, oh, well, that's his starter. So I think part of that's just him not giving out information more than something to worry about. I could be reading too much into it, but I just feel like that's how coach operates.
He said it every single presser. Every single presser last year with Nico. Every time he was in front of the microphone, he talked about how Nico had great command of the offense. But that's different, right? Because you know who your guy is. Right, you know who your guy is. James, wait, is this the James Moody? I just realized that. This is the James Moody. Do you know how many times I get asked, where have you been, James? All the time people ask where you've been. He's back and he becomes a member of the channel. And what made me realize it is because James does crazy things like this. He drops $100 super chat. That's what we call a showstopper. We're going to play the clip for James.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Shout out James, man. $100 is not. He's a celebrity around here. $2,000 in one night he donated to this channel because Tennessee beat Alabama, and he said if they beat Alabama, I'm giving you $2,000. And he's a man of his word. It's good to see James back in the chat for a hundo. Says best wishes on the rebuild, Boogie. We're all worried about quarterback and wide receiver. Man, how excited we should be about our D-line, linebacker rooms. Defense wins in the end. GBO. Shout out, James. The rebuild on my side, Mike, my office almost looks great. You can't see this side. It's a complete mess. And then the other side where my daughter's at is what we're working on now. We've got people here at the house right now trying to stop whatever led to the basement flooding. We got a lot of problems that we're trying to clean up in addition to cleaning the water up. There is a GoFundMe. You guys have been very generous. I said it Wednesday. Shout out to Foul Mink for taking the lead and saying, Boogie, we're going to do this with or without you. I'll put the link in the chat. If you guys want to donate, you can. I don't expect anything from anybody, but I do appreciate what you guys have done. Coach, I said it a lot with what James is saying here. Defensive line, linebacker. I think our corners are really good. I think we can win on defense. I think we got a great running back room. I think we can run the football. I think we can lead the conference in rushing again. We lean on this defense. We lean on this rushing attack. We get a competent quarterback. I think we got a shot to be right back in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I agree with you. We just got to take care of the ball, man. Once again, he's just got to take care of the ball. He's going to take shots. He's going to take big shots. He's got to be on the money with them. I didn't watch enough App State. Maybe you could put some light on it, Boogie. But there are things that make you nervous with Joey. I mean, 10% less accurate than Nico was last year. That concerns you a little bit. The picks concern you a little bit. But also when he did hit for big yards, which we didn't have last year. So there's some give and take there, and it's going to be really interesting how it shakes out, certainly. So it makes for kind of an exciting edge of your seat type start to the season.
What scares me about him is he does try to make plays, and he is going to let it rip, and he is going to throw it down the field, and he can connect. The problem is he will try to force it if it's not there. That's who he is. He's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the football into coverage. Now, the Tennessee's wide receivers have more of an opportunity to go up and win some of those battles. Mike Matthews, can he, like we saw Chris Brazzell before he transferred to Tennessee, that was one of his big things, going up and winning 50-50 balls. So, I don't know what to think about Joe. There's just so many unknowns with the move to Tennessee, and everybody talks about that last season where he threw 14 interceptions. Well, even the good year, even 2023 when he threw for almost 4,000 yards, he still threw for 10 interceptions. He threw for more yards, way more touchdowns, but he still puts the ball in harm's way. Now, how much of it was the talent around him? Like, you're playing against Georgia Southern. You're playing against teams that aren't SEC football teams, but guess what? The players around you aren't SEC football players either. So can Joey make that transition to the SEC? I just think it's too hard to sit back here and really know. How many times have we talked about it in the portal? Right, Tennessee goes and tries to get somebody. What was the kid from Wyoming? Isaiah Nair was his name. It's like, yeah, he put up good stats there. Even Chris Brazzell put up good stats where he was at. Can they make that jump? Jacoby Thomas, could he make that jump from MTSU to Tennessee? Very similar. I think there's just, yes, I've watched him play at App State. Yes, he's a gunslinger. Yes, he can make plays. Can he do it in the SEC? I don't know.
And to touch on the end of his super chat there, first one, I'll go to Coach. I'm going to ask both y'all two things here, but first thing, we'll go to Coach. We all know AC and T-Lander got 1 and 2 locked down, right? But my question is, like, how much and how early does Spillman start to push for some of those reps? He's not taking their spot, don't get me wrong, but he's just been such a freak in the offseason. How many reps does he start even getting, like, an even third of those reps? Like, what happens there? And then who's our number 4? Like, is it Jordan Burns, Perlotti? Who do you think steps in as that 4th linebacker, Coach, in rotation?
I think right now it's Burns, but I think any one of these young kids can make a run at it. I mean, they're just all so dang talented, man. I said it the other day. I'm so impressed with what Inge has done in that position. I mean, even Perlotti, if he can slow down and play within himself, is an absolute missile out there. I think it's going to come down to who can handle pass defense the best in that position. I really do. I think they're all pretty apt against the run, and I think right now I'd go with Burns to answer that call. But that could change in a hurry. It just could. I think Spillman's going to play, and I think he's going to play a lot from the jump. You can just afford to give your linebackers blows out there, especially if the offense is moving the ball a little bit on the other side. they pick up a first down, or they're gassing them, spreading your linebacker out a little bit. As soon as they stop the clock, you can kind of bring Spillman in and give your guys blows in that way as well. So I do think Spillman's going to play early and often, but I think T-Lander and Arian Carter will hold on to the position for the whole season, if that's what you're asking.
Right. Okay. And then in the second part of in there, he's talking about the defensive line. We all know you got Josh Josephs, Bryson Easton, Jackson Moy, Dominic Bailey, like all kind of like locked in there. Who's some of those guys? Like, what do you expect out of maybe like Josh Shell? Where does he fit in? Isaiah Campbell's a freshman. They're talking about. You got Tyree West, Tyree Weathersby, Marion Dye, Ethan Utley, David Hobbs, Jordan Ross. Like, we got all these guys. We talked about it the other day, but now after Coach's interview, Coach G's, but like, who do you think is going to start taking some of those reps? Who do you guys have your eye on at defensive line after this one?
You know how high I've been on Jordan Ross. He was my number one defensive lineman overall in that class he came out of. I think you're going to see him hit the field quite a bit. I'm interested to see what our boy Jamal Wallace can do on the inside if he can get some time. He's sneaky fast on the inside. And then Tyree Weathersby, I've read some reports that he's finally healthy. I mean, that was a kid who was looking like he could start in some games his freshman year on a talented defensive line. I think Weathersby is going to play. I think a lot of these kids, even Campbell, are going to get some run. Caleb Herring. I mean, I think you're going to see deep line changes out of Rodney Gardner this year. Once again, I think it's going to be more of the same medicine. And it's needed. Defensive lines, man, they get tired out there. That's a tough position in modern college football where they spread you out to run at you, and they're always running and gunning and moving 100 miles per hour. You need a deep defensive line, and guess what? We've built one. So I'm excited about it. I think you're going to see dang near all of them play. As far as true freshmen go, I tend to favor Isaiah getting on the field earlier than Ethan. But I'll tell you what, man, that spring game, Ethan Utley was all over the place. He was an absolute nightmare out there. Really quick hands, which we know Gardner loves, really low center of gravity, and able to affect his stunts and twist really, really well.
I want to know who the 4, 5, and 6 are. Who are the 4, 5, and 6 at D tackle that Coach G was talking about? Because he's talking about Hobbs, Easton, and Jackson Moy. But you rattled off a ton of names there, Fal.
Wallace
that's Tyree West, Marion Dye.
I'm talking about on the inside, though.
Josh Shell. I think Josh Shell's going to get some rotation there. The guy we brought in the transfer portal kind of slipped under the radar a little bit.
Nate, what about Nathan Robinson too, man? It's some of these guys. It's go time. We've talked about you. It's hard to believe that Nathan Robinson's a redshirt sophomore. Does he just get passed up by Ethan Utley and Isaiah Campbell? I don't think we'll get to the end of the year and either one of those guys are redshirt. I think Isaiah Campbell and Ethan Utley both play in more than 4 games. I do. But I think this defensive line could be better than they were a year ago. And how insane is that when you had James Pierce and Omar Norman Lott go to the NFL? But that's what Coach G does. It's just lock, load, and let's go play ball. Like reload year after year after year.
Just the fact that I could rattle off all those names and you still had to kind of think about it. I mean, that just tells you the depth there. But that's why it's so interesting to me. I think obviously it's one of our strengths, but like just the wealth of talent we have there. I mean, you think how much we rotate? We probably rotate as much or more on defensive line than anybody in the country. But the point is, we rotate more than any offensive line they're going to face. I mean, you talk about play after play, Coach. How many offensive units are going to rotate, more than 1 or 2 people on a regular basis? Not many. We're putting fresh body after fresh body after fresh body and not dropping. I mean, we might drop some experience, but we're not dropping much talent there. So I just think these guys are going to eat.
What's sad is I completely forgot that Josh Shell transferred in. I completely forgot that name until you just now said it. And that's another dude, like at Grand Valley State.
I'm telling you, I think he's going to be a dude.
That's what's scary about our D-line, though, is like someone like that could get lost in the shuffle in your mind, Bug. Like that's just an embarrassment. Not to get off topic of the D-line, but did we get a report of who started at both safety positions, at the free and the strong?
Not from the scrimmage today, but I'm wondering
if and Hold on.
Turn time?
Turn
Yeah.
time's definitely started. So where did you see that Farouk started?
That was in one AP talked about it. One of his 2-minute drills over the past week.
Oh, he was talking about today though in the scrimmage today.
Oh, I don't know for sure in the scrimmage today. But leading up to the scrimmage this week, it was Farouk. So I just imagine like that would have been him again.
I think it's going to be him, but I've seen a lot of hype around Caleb Beasley getting that other safety spot.
Yeah. Caleb is interesting there, because he can cover. I'm anxious to see how he can do coming downhill a little bit more. But he should be really interesting in coverage there. And then what happens in those backup positions? How much do we see Beasley? How much do we see Marcus Gorey at that other safety position as well? I mean, that's a kid. He's a redshirt sophomore. I mean, I think he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, redshirt freshman. He's in the same class as Boo Carter.
Yeah, so redshirt freshman. So by the time he takes over that safety position next year, he'll be a redshirt sophomore with 3 years under his belt. And Marcus Gorey, I really, really liked him coming out of high school. Really, really smart player.
Man, he's got long arms, man.
Length, but just the intelligence. There was a play. Go watch that film breakdown. I think the last play I show, he defends 3 different routes, 3 different offensive attackers on the same play. It's just absolute brilliance and about as smart and headsy of a high school football play as you'll ever see.
Let me hit this real quick. Aiken Beard Barber becomes a member of the channel. Shout out Aiken Beard Barber. We appreciate you. Let's get back to Heupel. How did we? Man, we went on a complete detour. We were talking about quarterbacks, and now we're talking about.
We got a couple of super chats in there. We let the chat run the show for a minute.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get back to Josh Heupel.
Man, we haven't gotten a chance to go watch tape. So,
But
if you want to hold a press conference afterwards, I'll be able to answer. Yeah,
Dude,
can we?
Like Hubs is like he says we've not watched the tape, and you can hear Hubs going, but wait, please.
That's about right. I don't anticipate us dramatically changing the reps right now. Yeah, 8 practices in. There's been good growth. Practices have been competitive. They've been physical, good fundamental and technique growth, which ultimately leads you to being in position to go make plays in all phases of the game. We still have a lot left individually and collectively by unit to continue to be our best. And so growth mindset, and let's continue to push.
Staley and Matthews involved?
I'm sorry.
Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, were they involved?
Braylon was not. Mike was. Mike did a good job today. He's been with us the last couple of days.
everybody talks about George because of the experience, the Mark that he's been with. George is kind of that guy kind of lean. What are you seeing him do?
Yeah.
That gives him a real shot to potentially win the job or earn it down the line.
Well, I think George, we challenged him post spring ball in some of the areas that he had to grow, some of that physical, some of that fundamental and technique. You've seen a lot of that growth from him, and you've seen his level of play be dramatically different than where we finished spring ball. And that's, from day one of training camp. He's had good presence, good control of what we're doing. There's some areas that he's going to have to continue to grow in, as all of our players have to do at this point. But I really like what George has done so far.
Receivers being in and out of the lineup the first 2 weeks. Like what you saw from the group collectively today, given their circumstances?
Yeah, overall, I thought, they made a few plays. There's some foreign plays that are there to make, but they operated relatively efficiently in the confines of what we're doing offensively. And for them, there's some subtle details in how they operate that this is as close as they get to game day 2, which is going to be a great learning experience from them. But overall, I really like what they've done.
Is Boo getting receiver reps, and what have you seen from him over the last week that has allowed him to get back in the fold?
When we started training camp and I talked to you guys, there were steps that he had to take, continue to earn his place, in the scope of what we're doing as a football team. He has taken those steps. He's continued to grow. I like what he's been able to do here, in particular the last 4 days. What's going to transpire. It's a day-to-day, we're taking it day to day at this point, I guess is the best way to say it.
Day by day.
Completely
by
ignored
day.
that question. That makes me think, though, the way he answered that makes me think that Boo is taking snaps on offense. Boo is taking snaps on defense when the doors are closed and nobody's paying attention. That's the way I read that.
Yeah. Random question, guys. Who would you have returning kicks and punts this year?
Boo Carter returning punts 100%. Like, no questions asked.
You think? You risk him there?
I would at least think about DeJuan Morris or Justin Baker, possibly. Just some of those freshman running backs.
Oh, yeah. Morris. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Like, I get it. You don't
Peyton
want Boo Carter.
Lewis.
You don't want Boo Carter to get hurt. He's too dynamic. He's too electric returning punts to keep him
for
off the field.
punts. Yeah. Punts. Yeah, I guess I feel a little safer with them. Kick returns are fight club, man. That scares me a lot. A lot of injuries happen on kick return.
But also,
return.
Kick return. How often do we even return kicks? Like 99% of the kicks go through the end zone.
That's true too. You're going to fair catch most of it. And another thing, and just to go against my own point, putting a freshman back there under certain situations in a punt could be dangerous. But at the same time, if they can do it in practice, they can play. I mean, I'm sure all those guys have returned punts most of their career. So I would at least look at Morris or Baker maybe.
What's that? Boo was involved in what we were doing.
Yeah, Sanders mentioned earlier, like we put on this additional weight. He's getting pushed around by guys like Don Bailey and them. How did he look out there on the field today with that extra weight, not maybe having coaching and
I thought David has done a really good job. 8 practices in throughout training camp. Thought today he handled himself extremely well. Really good player in spring ball. Continue to grow mentally and physically, and then the fundamentals and technique too. So here through the early part of training camp, he's done a really good job for a young football player. Expect him to play at a really high level.
What's your takeaway? 9 minutes of offensive play. What do you take away?
I like how hard they are playing. We use the word attack, playing through the echo of the whistle, how they're running the football, the ability to not go 1-for-1 out in space and in the core, block destruction. For us and the details of what we're doing, from a shift, trade, motion, whatever it may be, all 3 levels, communicating, be on the same page. We've been solid, but there's more growth for us on a play in, play out basis right now with 1s, 2s, and 3s, but they've had a great mindset and they continue to grow.
How often?
Did you see the hype mic'd up? I want to show it on air, but it'll 100% get flagged for copyright music. When he's talking about you guys see me toting the rock in the block distraction. You guys see me toting the rock, dude. It's like I think Fal, you touched on it earlier. The difference in the way he talks to the media, the way he presents himself, versus when he's on that practice field with his players. He's a player's coach, man. They just the way they feed off of each other, and hearing all the kids that come through this channel, I just thought that was a nice touch of who Coach Heupel is with those players.
I don't think there's anybody more comfortable on the field than Coach.
And it has to come from just his background, man. He's been there, done that. It's not just done it. He's done it at an elite level. Let's see here. Packers Total Access for 5 says, appreciate you, fellas. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. If you guys are Green Bay Packers fans, go check out Packers Total Access on YouTube. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel. Got a couple of minutes left here.
Are you betting going out there and doing some things yesterday that on schedule?
Yeah, cool moment for Jamad. Big moment, getting back on the field and doing some of the individual work. It was cool to see the way his brothers were excited for him in that moment and how big that was too. And he broke us down before practice, and he's done an elite job throughout, his rehab. And there's still more that he's got to continue to do, but excited to get him back out with us.
What do you feel like you're at center with Sad?
Yeah, still a competition. Ultimately, who the starting 5 are, moving pieces, find the best 5 that fit cohesively together. At that position, multiple guys got to be ready to go play and potentially have some moving parts as far as, guys sliding from center to guard to tackle, whatever it might be. Those guys have repped extremely hard. They're playing hard. They're playing well as a group with the moving pieces too. The communication, I think, has been really solid. We're 8 practices in. There's a lot more for us to continue to get to.
Step forward from Star Thomas.
Yeah, dramatically different player. Just his body, his movement, explosiveness, his physicality with the ball and without the ball. Some of the details and fundamentals that it takes, in pass protection, special teams as well. He's done an elite job from end of spring ball to where we are practice 8.
How did Edwin Spillman maybe affect the quarterbacks today?
Yeah, Edwin, made a couple plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's taking a step as a leader. He's taking a step in his understanding and ownership of what we're doing defensively, his ability to communicate, get all 3 levels on the same page. Young player that's only going to continue to get better. He pushes extremely hard every day to go chase his best.
Right. Thank you all.
All right.
That's that last comment there too, about Spillman it's just huge, guys. Like we talk about it, the linebacker being the quarterback of the defense, and that comment is exactly what Heupel's speaking on, communicating at all 3 levels, meaning I'm able to affect what my D-line is doing in front of me, my brother linebackers are doing next to me, and then finally my secondary behind me, so that we're working in concert together as a defense. That's huge for a young linebacker who's really, really good like Spillman to be able to do early in his career like this, especially not being able to play. You wonder if that time off the field maybe helped his mental side of it a little bit. So that little comment in there is sneaky good to hear. And like Boogie said in the video yesterday, man, I'm like a kid in a candy store with this linebacker unit. And I think we're going to be able to get after the quarterback with it really, really well this year. And with the Leo position, I mean, it's our fourth string Leo, Emmanuel Okoye.
Yes.
Is that who our 4th string Leo is?
I think so. Yeah, because you got Herring,
Good Lord.
Joseph's Herring, and Jordan Ross. So I would imagine he's probably
Okoye's a physical freak. It's just a matter of how quickly he can get up to how quickly he can get up to speed as far as his football IQ. But yeah, good luck, right?
Him getting hurt, man. Getting hurt really, really kind of derailed his development. I mean, he hadn't played a lot of football as it was. Then he gets on campus and gets hurt. That sucks. But
he's that type of kid. It wouldn't surprise you if he just exploded one year, though. Like
senior year.
Yeah.
When it just clicks and he understands everything that's going on around him, it's no physical slights at all. What do you think? You think just with a little bit more depth at linebacker, more experience at linebacker, and also I don't think we're any less effective at the defensive line, but we've lost, some of those upperclassmen, some of those key guys from last year. Do you expect more? Do either one of you guys expect more maybe blitz packages this year than maybe last year?
I think everything builds off of each other, right? Like when I talk about the corners and how elite they are, the ability to put them on islands. People talk about how Tennessee's not aggressive enough against the Ohio States and the Georgias. When you've got Colton Hood and Ricky Gibson and Jamal McCoy, and you can trust them in man-to-man, one-on-one coverage against elite guys that are going to be first-round NFL draft picks, now you can get creative. Now you can get after the quarterback. Now we can see what Tim Banks' defense is really freaking about, because we've seen a small glimpse of what he can do when he has the confidence in his playmakers. But yeah, I mean, just talking about the linebacker depth, let's fast forward to next year. Let's fast forward to next year. If Arian Carter and Jeremiah Thielander come back, guess what? They're both seniors. Edwin Spillman is now a redshirt sophomore. Jordan Burns is now a redshirt sophomore. You've got Jaden Harmon, Jaden Perlotti, and oh, by the way, you got 2 top 100 players coming in TJ White and Braden Rouse. Are you kidding me? We're one cycle away from this defense, this linebacker room being just as freaking deep, stacked, and loaded as the defensive line. Can we do it in the secondary? And then, I mean, Tim Banks is gone. He's never going to stick around. There's not enough money to pay that guy to stay. I got derailed. I got excited talking about.
And I agree with you what you're saying. The secondary, especially if Jermod comes back and these safeties are able to stabilize, it allows you to play a lot more loose in your first and second level with blitzes, stunts, twists, show and go packages, stuff like that. So yeah, I do think we could play more aggressively, but just like Heupel in some ways, guys, Banks has to not decide to play a different football game when we're playing the big boys on the road, right? Like it's been called differently. And I'm not an anti-Banks guy. I like Tim Banks, but he, for whatever reason, he's just called a different game against the big boys on the road. We cannot do that again this season.
This might be oversimplified, but is it a communication thing when you're in on the road in the noise? Is it a communication thing that you're trying to simplify it?
I think it's
Which
a
I don't
confidence
agree
thing.
with. I'm just saying.
I think it's a confidence thing. I don't think he has the confidence in the players to go out there and get nose to nose with Ohio State, nose to nose with Georgia. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was nervous about his safeties in that situation last year. And especially once Jermod got banged up. I mean, it became a little bit of a problem, and teams were able to get in the seam, get stemmed inside and over our free safeties and strong safeties. So it was a bit problematic, but still, I want to see him more aggressive. To be who you are, be you, right? Like that's my whole thing, and I felt like we weren't us in those games.
Hey, we got to get out the door.
Yeah.
Scrimmage number 1 is in the books. We're 21 days, 3 weeks away from kicking off the 2025 season. Don't forget, Sunday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Talkin VAWLS Live, fan call-in show. You guys are going to drive it, but you got to be a member of the channel. If you don't have a Power T beside your name, you can fix that, and you can come watch the stream. It's only $1 a month, 25 cents per episode, 25 cents per live stream. To come hang out with us, hit the join button down below. We're going to go live at 7 o'clock. We'll send out the link to you guys. You guys can come on and talk about the scrimmage, fall camp, upcoming expectations, whatever you want to get into. Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football 26 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Talkin VAWLS live every Wednesday night from now throughout the end of the season. It is go time, full steam ahead. The morning shows. Monday morning with me and Eric Kane at 9 a.m. And then Friday morning, the three of us, me, Coach Jay, and Foul Me, are going to go live Friday mornings at 10 a.m. We'll let Coach Jay sleep a little bit on Fridays.
I appreciate it.
We'll do the morning show. We're going to bring back the gambling segment. Even though we don't condone gambling, we're going to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm ready to dive full steam ahead into football season and actually be able to talk ball instead of speculation and expectations. But that is going to do it for this one. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Again, shout out to everybody that has supported the GoFundMe for all the damage to the house. I am grateful. You want to support, there's a link in the description below. But that is going to do it for Coach Jay. For Foul Ming, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home and it's night and I'm alone and